Hello there guys, Ed here from 6 Plus Plus. So today we're going to be covering the awesome looking new Raven Guard detachment. We covered it in our Monday show a smidge and it looks really cool. So I'm going to go into a little bit more of a deep dive into it and have a look at the strats, the enhancements and the new character, Aethon Shaan. So Aethon Shaan, but which is what Art of War is so dubbed, which I quite like. So I'm going to go with Aethon Shaan. So yeah, so let's just get right into it. Okay then, so we'll start with Aethon Shaan. So this guy is one of the cooler looking models out of the new Space Marine range that I've seen. Probably the only thing that I'm as close is probably Logan or Arjak. Those two looked incredible when they came out. So let's just go into it. So we remove 14 inches, toughness 4, 3 up armor save, 5 wounds, leadership 6. He's a chapter master, he's OC 1, he has a 4 up invuln. Shame he doesn't have a 3 up, 2 up save, because a lot of chapter masters do, but I understand it because he's a fly boy. So we've got the Claw of Severax, which is sustained 2 and twin linked. So the 7 attacks, 2s to hit, strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage. So this guy is combat profile on his own. There's a good chance he can go into like a transport and kill it with Oath, maybe. But the key things that you got to look at is he's got Deep Strike, Lone Operative, Stealth. He has a moment thing as usual. In your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army. At the start of the next command phase, each time it attempts a starter's unit from your army declares a charge within 12. That enemy unit reroll charges. But it must declare that enemy unit as a charge, if possible. So its reroll charges against the target is fantastic. Obviously, a slight limitation, in fact, if you can, in particular rerolls, you have to select a target, but still, that's a great ability. Then you can target this model. You target this model's unit with the rapid ingress and heroic intervention strats for 0 CP. Even if you've already used it this phase. That's obviously very good as well. So this guy can go off on his own and be a lone op. He can join units. Have a let's have a look at units he can join. He can join Cave Strike's unit and lose the lone op ability. Oh, cool. That's interesting. So at the start of the declare battle formation start, if your army includes Aethon Strike and Cave Strike, until the end of the battle, your Cave Strike unit loses the lone opportunity and it replaces the Chatmaster with Captain. So you do lose the lone opportunity if you use Cave Strike, which is with Shaan, which is interesting. But this guy is as a lone up character piece, he's just very good. He seems like he's just going to be running around and doing his own thing. He's going to be able to rapid ingress for free. He's going to be able to threaten that second turn punch, especially with going up and down with the Into Darkness thing, which we're going to cover in a second. And yeah, I can see this character being used quite a lot. I think if you're going to be using Raven Guard, you're going to have at least one. Well, you're going to have him. You're going to have the guy, the one man himself, Aethon Shaan, and I think he's going to be really, really cool. And obviously he's got a bolt pistol. Yeah. So yeah, he is interesting, guys. So let's go on to the detachments now. So I think the detachment itself is quite good in its own right. It's got quite a few of the good strats and enhancements, which we're going to cover now. So go to the detachment rule first. We're going to go on to the Master of Shadow. We've got each from range attack targets and a starter's unit from your army, unless the attacker models within 12. Subtract 1 to the hit roll, and you get benefit of cover. This is obviously great. This obviously skews a lot of the maths on the things that you want to shoot you. And once per battle round, if Aethon Shaan, this model is part of your army, is on the battlefield, you can use the Into Darkness stratagem for 0 CP. So that means you can go back up in the air with the unit free each battle round, which is obviously fantastic. It doesn't look like it says that is just his unit either. If Aethon Strike, his model army is on the battlefield, you can use the Into Darkness strat for 0 CP. So yeah, you can use this, which is obviously some excellent command point manipulation there. So, enhancements with Blackwing Shroud. So this is the Detachment status model only. While the model is leading a unit, that unit, the models in that unit have the Infiltrator's ability. So which is obviously fantastic. It's like the old Minus Calgar and Aggressor Squad forward deploying like it used to. And obviously there's lots of ways you can use this. Obviously not with Minus Calgar in this sense because it's now Raven Guard. But you could do it with various units. You could have a captain with jump pack in a unit of Vanguard vets or something like that and have that very controlled second turn alpha, which is obviously really, really cool. So we'll say a second turn push, which is obviously really, really cool. Obviously, there's lots of ways you could use this detachment, this enhancement. To be honest, I think this could be applied in various circumstances. Like getting a shooting unit in this position, dumping a big horrible OC brick like a unit of heavy incesses and a captain and gravis armor or something like that, just onto a point and just sitting there. There's lots of things that you could definitely use to your advantage on that. So that is open to your imagination, really. Then we've got Coronal Susurrant, which is a Phobos model only. And it has the following ability. Each time your opponent targets a unit from your army with that stratagem, if that unit is within 12, increase the cost of that stratagem by 1p. It's a Vect. So obviously Vects are great. They're always very powerful, especially in a meta where there's lots of combat about, so you can stop interrupts or fight on death strats and all that sort of thing, or even just defensive strats. So I think this is really, really good. It also depends on the points, because obviously the old Vex enhancement in the Vanguard detachment was quite expensive. So I imagine you're going to be looking at a similar points hike for that. But on a little loan up lieutenant or something, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. And we've got Umbral Raptor. In terms of status model, the bearer has the stealth and loan up abilities. This, I think I mentioned it on the Monday show. I think this is going to be really, really good on a Gravis captain. Just walking around, being annoying, has a free strat on his own for a reroll save or an armor of contempt. Has stealth built in then, which is obviously fantastic. And so I can see there's going to be lots of little lone op units dancing around this board, scoring their points, while there's a few big bricks that stop you wanting to push into them. So that's interesting. Then we've got Hunter's Instincts. At every starter's model loading, if the bearer's unit is in strategic reserves, for the purpose of setting up that unit on the battlefield, treat the battle round as being one higher than it actually is. Now, this is obviously great. So you could deep strike turn 1, technically. You could, which means you could apply a lot of pressure with this list very early on. And it just says for the purpose of setting it up on the board. So if the bearer's unit is within strategic reserves, for the purpose of setting up that unit on the battlefield, currently, yeah. So I think, because it's not your movement phase locked, I think you can rapid ingress with this. I think. I'll have to double check that, so don't shoot me in the comments. I'll double check and get back to you. But like the Logan one that lets you deep strike turn 1 with a Space Wolves unit, it says in your movement phase you can come down. But this doesn't specify that. So there's a very good chance that this will let you rapid ingress turn 1 with a unit, which is obviously very powerful, right? So if you can do it with Hunter's Instinct, it's a very interesting use of that. Obviously, you can do it with something that has deep strike. I don't think you can do it with something that has retreat reserves. Again, I'll have to double check that and get back to you. Not a rule interaction that I really engage with too often. But yeah, that'll be interesting if that works. So those are the enhancements and detachment rule, guys. Let's get into this juicy bits of the stratagems. So we start off with something that we all know and love. We have Armor Contempt. So obviously -1 AP to the thing that targets you, which is obviously fantastic. We love that for an ability. It's obviously very, very good and very, very powerful. And then we have Lay Low the Tyrants. So we have fight phase. In one attempts to start as infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, melee weapons have the precision. This is only 1 CP. I believe in Vanguard it is 2. So this is obviously less of a tax on this ability, which is very, very good if you want to get rid of characters and stuff like that. If you have a pesky curse brick that you want to get rid of with the cheap trade unit, the character from the unit with the cheap trade unit is obviously very good. So yeah, I think that one can get use. Feint and Thrust. Your movement phase, one is a starter's unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn it fell back. So you got fallback, shoot and charge, which is great. If it's a Phobos or Scout unit, also if it is eligible to shoot and declare a charge and turn it, which you advance. So you can advance and charge Scout and Phobos, which is interesting. I can see that being a thing. But the main thing is the fallback and shoot. So if you wanted to use Centurions in this sort of list, like the shooty Centurions, the old problem was if they got tagged, they can't shoot and they have to try and dig their way out, and very annoying. Obviously now you have that ability to fall back and shoot, which does give you a little bit more of a security there, which is nice. We have Stunning Fusillade. Your shooting phase, one of them is to start as infantry unit from your army that has been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, each summon model in the range attack targets an enemy unit that is more than 12 away. Improve the ballistic skill and armor penetration of those characteristics by 1. So if one or more enemy models are destroyed by the result of these attacks, select one of these destroyed models, and the destroyed model's unit must take a battle shock tech. So effectively, it's the +1 ballistic skill +1 AP strat from Vanguard, but in this they also cause a battle shock tech if you actually kill a model, which is actually very, very good. So having some battle shock tech in there is obviously very, very useful as well. Then we've got Raptoral Vigilance. So your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or normal fallback move. One attempts to start as infantry or attempts to start as mounted unit from your army that is within 9 inches of an enemy unit that's just ended a move. So basically this is the reactive move from Vanguard but changed. So now it's just if someone moves within 9 of you. You cannot target as a stratagem with engagement range, of course. You may normally move up to D6. If you're Phobos, it's flat 6. Nice. Or a scout squad. So yeah, this is a reactive move, guys. It's similar to squad tactics and all that sort of thing. Like we know it, we love it. It's obviously very useful. If it's one of those things that if someone gets an Ares Anal, you've put a piece in the middle for your Ares Anal, you can get that piece back. You've obviously got the Lieutenant with Lone Op that can also reactive move naturally as well. So you can definitely use this to some interesting abilities, which is very cool. So that's that one. Then we've got Into Darkness. So so the Into Darkness is interesting. So it's basically end of your opponent fight phase, up to 2 Phobos and/or Scout units from your army, or 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army. You cannot target this unit because it's an engagement range, of course. So remove the units from the battlefield and place them in strategic reserves. This does work on Sense, which is interesting, and does work on any Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army. So you can obviously use this for a few things. You can use it on turn 1 to pick up a unit of like 10 JPI and a strike or something, and then deep strike them back down, and all that sort of thing. You can use this to get a lot of maneuverability throughout the game. And this feels like the entire detachment is setting itself up for a turn 2 go turn, where it's going to have a lot of threats and a lot of damage to be able to be allocated in that turn. So with the uppy downy, with the first turn deep striking sort of thing, or the rapid ingress turn 1, all that sort of thing, you could be definitely setting yourself up to do very precise and very unpredictable strikes to your opponent's force, which is obviously going to be very, very cool, which is very Raven Guardy. So I think this detachment is very interesting and very cool. I think it's got a lot of I think it's got a lot of play and a lot of different builds that could work here. And yeah, I think overall, I think this attachment is going to be, I hope it is seen a lot more. Well, I've seen a lot, because obviously the Raven Guard haven't really had that sort of love before. And obviously the Shrike himself, he can obviously, if you take him in your army, you get the OC2 JPI as well, which is interesting. So I think they've shown an active effort to put a lot of love into this detachment. So I'm hoping that it is seen and gets some love. So well, let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think of this? So what do you think of the new detachment? What do you think of the the strats? If you've got any cool unit ideas, cool combos that you're thinking of, whack them in the comments below. And again, if you like this sort of content, obviously please give us a like and subscribe. We love that stuff. It's great. We love the love. And we're going to be doing another video on the new Imperial Fists. So that's going to be awesome as well. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this little detachment review, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!